Hello? Is someone there?
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 moments and shows from UK TV that left us shaken by stirring up the fear factor. We're covering quite the variation of genre and timescale here, from classic to modern, and whilst we'll do our best, there may be some spoilers, so if you haven't, sneak up on these frights and watch, if you can.
The boot's on the other foot, don't you see? Now it's time for us to be afraid of them.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 20. Yule Never Leave, The League of Gentlemen. We should have known they could go darker. Royston Vesey's inhabitants had depicted a spectrum of the macabre, from the quirky to the full-on unhinged. But the League of Gentlemen's 2000 Christmas special, You'll Never Leave, a tribute to ghost stories of old, took the show into decidedly psychological horror avenues.
Someone help! Lee, you're bleeding! Help!
Conceptually based on Amicus Films' horrors and the M.R. James Ghost Story for Christmas, the League honed in on the supernatural and parapsychological. By foregoing the laughter track, there was an extra layer of naturalism to juxtapose the grotesque, a practice which continued with the more sitcom-esque third series. Whilst all 4 members of the League would later find success across the horror genre, this episode was a premonition of things to come. Number 19. Day of the Triffids. Surprisingly, both BBC TV iterations of John Wyndham's 1951 sci-fi novel were well received, but indeed, the 1981 contemporised but otherwise faithful adaptation series still sends a cold feeling down the backs of those who remember watching it from behind the settee.
It's dead. There's nothing you can do. Move!
Without giving away too much of the plot, which reportedly inspired Jim's story in 28 Days Later, Bill Mason emerges from the hospital into a destroyed society, finding he is one of very few who can see. But it's not the meteors, nor the horrifyingly designed fauna in the carnivorous Triffids which really frighten viewers, but humanity, blinded and pushed to the brink. The scenes of the desperate crowds of people are as claustrophobic and terrifying as those depicting the now morally bankrupt. Number 18. Remember Me. The Monty Python gang have long earned their place as comedy legends, with each of them successful in other endeavours. Still, 2014's BBC serial Remember Me showcased an unusual return to TV acting for Michael Palin, who was rightfully lauded for his serious performance.
I could never find it.
It was billed as a supernatural drama, entailing some terrifying moments. Sight and sound were utilised to full effect here, invoking tension through vivid visuals and haunting audio effects. However, it was, ultimately, a mystery, meaning viewers had to endure the slow-burning and suspense-filled 3 episodes to the bitter end, or else forfeit being rewarded with answers. The deliberate pace means Remember Me isn't a shock horror, but a festering experience, which makes Scarborough Fair a tough listen evermore. Number 17. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. In many ways, a psychological horror can invoke more scares when thinking of the deviant minds behind it.
My best friends. Wait, what are you doing?
Becky Sloan, Joe Pelling, and Baker Terry are the minds behind Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Originally based on YouTube, the surrealist comedy horror musical show's premise is as though Sesame Street's residents became self-aware and headed into psychological terror avenues, instead of teaching letters and numbers, blending live action with animation and pupophobia-inducing puppetry.
No, just right into the mouth of the carehound. Get it all out.
The online iteration found a home in Channel 4, but kept the format of horrifying concluding twists. But maybe the horror is wondering if there is any underlying narrative. Is it all imagined or real? Scarier still is trying to imagine the minds that came up with it.
It's definitely not worth it. Changed my mind.
Number 16. Listen, Doctor Who. For number 16, we're off through time and space.
Playing a trick, are you, hey? Little trick on Rupert here.
Now, it's hard to believe older generations recounting how they could be frightened by classic episodes with its wobbly sets and pepper pot cyborgs. The revival show has the budget to change that, meaning this isn't the last entry for Doctor Who. The revival's 4th episode of Series 8 was arguably a tribute to those more scary serials. Listen followed Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor, trying to understand more about ghosts and learn what's under the bed.
Make a promise. Promise you're never going to look at it.
I promise never to look.
Whilst the ending twist softened the blow, the episode still asked more questions and left no answers, which perhaps made for a lot of tense sleeps for younger viewers, and maybe older ones too.
Gone.
Gone.
Number 15. Lost Hearts, a ghost story for Christmas. The horror genre endures, and testament to that is found with Ghost Stories for Christmas. The prolific, often revived anthology series took classic horrors and adapted them to TV films.
No. You've come too late.
It's also proof that, bizarrely, the British public loves sprinkling some horror on the festive season. The first 5 were adaptations of M.R. James stories, the classic horror novelist that later inspired The League of Gentlemen. The 3rd episode, also named Lost Hearts, follows the original story quite closely, executing its simple premise of an orphaned boy experiencing visions of equally simple yet still frighteningly designed ghosts to full effect. It was the first episode to be broadcast on Christmas Day itself, meaning quite a few viewers probably didn't sleep until Boxing Day afternoon. Number 14. During Barty's Party, Beasts. For their contribution to the genre, some horror figures will naturally provide multiple entries to this list, and Nigel Kneale's is legendary.
No!
They are. They're following us, whichever room we're in, wherever we go.
The Manx writer had already found success by scaring people with his horror and sci-fi scripts. With his 1976 anthology series, Beasts, Kneale presented the subgenre of bestial horror, but added supernatural elements. Yet, ironically, the 2nd episode, During Barty's Party, didn't, but was arguably the most nightmarish, dealing with rodents galore. The premise of rats infesting a home was indeed terrifying, compounded by not being entirely impossible either. But what's scarier is that, for most of the episode, we don't really see them. All the fear is built through angles and sounds. Number 13. Adolescence. Adolescence was a gritty television event that showed how quickly the normal can go wrong, but Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham's psychological crime drama sets out to be just that. It wasn't and isn't intended to be a horror, but a realistic depiction of a tragedy and how real people would respond.
Oi! Ryan! What have you done?
The naturalistic drama draws inspiration from real-life events and reflects harsh truths about society that had, arguably, been massively overlooked, which is really where the most terrifying aspect lies. The 2nd episode in particular is set at a typical secondary school, highlighting the ticking time bomb of the nation's youth.
Just one second. Ryan, go on.
They're stressed to breaking point, misinformed about the realities of the world, influenced by the darker side of the internet, and it's happening right now. Number 12. Terra Incognita. Ultraviolet. Our next entry is an early role for Idris Elba as part of Channel 4's 1998 serial Ultraviolet. On the outside, it's a crime thriller, although our detectives are on the chase of vampires. They look like they want to enslave mankind, but are actually trying to wipe it out with a nuclear holocaust.
Did they tell you I was evil? It's what the church always says, Mike.
But whilst that premise seems more akin to a B-movie, the show descends into suspense, successfully playing up and on the tension. With a deliberately anxious soundtrack, one needs look no further than episode 5's warehouse scene.
There's 4 of them.
Elba's character is in a perilous race against time as he tries to prevent the surrounding coffins from opening at sunset. Did he make it? Watch if you dare. Number 11. Live Special Deadline Inside Number 9. As hinted, half of the League of Gentlemen are back to frighten us. For Halloween 2018, a special live broadcast of Inside Number 9 would air from the real-life and notoriously haunted Granada studios.
You put the phone closer to your mouth, I can't quite hear.
But the episode shortly starts experiencing production problems. The sound goes, the broadcast is halted, and then the fourth wall comes down. Through voyeuristic footage, we see maleficence, as though the studio itself is on the attack, targeting the actors, the crew, the channel, and maybe the viewers will be next. Inside Number 9 would usually induce laughter or shock, but Deadline, paying homage to Ghostwatch, more on that later, was a nightmare-inducing television event. Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith's Halloween treat was a sneaky and very elaborate trick.
Oh, God.
Number 10. Blink. Doctor Who.
Mommy? Are you in there, Mommy? Mommy?
Though Doctor Who has been terrifying children and adults alike for 60 years, it's lower on our list simply because everybody already knows how scary it can be.
I
don't know.
The chances are, everybody you speak to will have a different answer for what the scariest moment or monster in Doctor Who is, ranging from the original Daleks back in the 60s to the modern era's notorious weeping angels. Certain people still seeing the angels in their nightmares will stare down statues in real life even today. Such was the impact of 2007's Blink.
You're not looking at the statue.
Neither are you.
But there are many more frightening moments besides, with everything becoming a potential villain now, from broken clocks in Series 2 to dodgy Wi-Fi in Series 7 of the revival. Number 9. Watership Down. It's true that the original Watership Down was theatrically released, but it also had a TV show running on CITV between 1999 and 2001, plus an uncanny CGI remake that appeared on BBC One in 2018. In every case, it remains close to its grisly source material, Richard Adams' 1972 novel.
The field, it's covered with blood.
Blood? Don't be silly.
For all the artistry of the adaptations, you just can't get away from the fact that Watership Down makes for gruesome viewing, and was never actually intended for children.
This is it. The wire's on a peg. We've got to dig it out.
The peg's narrower down there. It tapers.
When the 78 version has been re-aired on TV, it's consistently traumatized the kids allowed to watch, whose parents somehow don't know that most of the rabbits die in horrible ways.
One of his great messages.
Number 8. Most Haunted. Britain's premier ghost hunting show could be downright chilling in its best moments, as long as you're willing to sit through a lot of ridiculousness and hammy spirit mediums.
Can you,
Where's the bed?
Can you make a noise, please?
Whether you think it's all fake, or that Yvette Fielding and company are unravelling the mysteries of the afterlife. It's compelling TV and has created some frightening scenes.
You evil? Do you mean us harm? I think it does mean us harm.
Derek Akora's violent possessions, scratches appearing on the cameraman's backs, rocking chairs and wheelchairs moving of their own accord. The melodrama will scare you regardless of how sceptical you might be.
The lights aren't working.
The power's gone.
Yeah, the lights aren't working. They were working before, they're not working now.
Even the opening credits sequence will send a chill down your spine with its ghastly imagery. Number 7. Rillington Place. Starring Jodie Comer and Nico Miralegro, reunited after the conclusion of My Mad Fat Diary, in which they also co-starred, this is a fittingly grisly fictionalisation of the serial killer John Christie's crimes.
I'm Beryl.
Ah. Good evening, Mrs. Evans. We're not long married, Mr. Christie.
Christie and his wife are played by Tim Roth and Samantha Morton respectively, and it's truly as frightening as you'd expect. Christie murdered at least 8 people in the 40s and 50s, burying the bodies in the garden and underneath the floorboards. The story has an even darker twist, however, as Christie killed one of his tenants, Beryl Evans, played by Comer, but the police at the time hanged her husband for the crime.
What's going on in there, eh? Bedroom stinks of perfume.
Judy. She left your little present on the bed.
Watch this harrowing drama at your own discretion. Number 6. Quatermass franchise. The Quatermass TV series aired sporadically on both the BBC and ITV between 1953 and 1979, following the exploits of Professor Bernard Quatermass as he investigates paranormal goings-on in the UK.
Sounded more like a flying saucer scare. Lots of stuff about a light in the sky and smoke and... Hello? Only 10 minutes ago.
The first serial was concerned with an alien invasion brought to Earth by an unwitting and harrowed astronaut, and it immediately struck a chord.
Oh, it's going to go off. Come here, Len. Come here.
Shut up. It looks sort of like steam.
All that just now. Roaring flames. Oh, my God, Len, it's something dreadful. Come away, Len. You're out of your mind.
Though it may be often forgotten today, it's well known among the creators of other subsequent science fiction horror franchises, from Doctor Who to The X-Files to Hammer Horror. Without the terrifying Quatermass serials of the 50s, we may never have had Doctor Who at all, though creator Nigel Kneale reportedly didn't like the nation's favourite Time Lord.
Terrifying, that's the word, terrified. There was this great blare of light, and then the whole neighbourhood sort of shuddered.
Number 5. The Enfield Haunting. In the late 1970s, a modest council house in Enfield, London, was plagued with a poltergeist that quickly became one of the most famous ghosts in all of England.
What happened?
He was here. Horrible. Oh man, I saw him through that.
It was investigated by multiple figures over the course of 2 years, with just as many believing the story as those who derided it as a hoax.
I'm getting a bit long in the tooth for grandmother's footsteps.
The media circus put the Enfield poltergeist firmly in the British psyche, and in 2015, Sky adapted the drama, fronted by Timothy Spall and Matthew McFadden. They play the investigators trying to determine if the two sisters at the centre of the story were lying.
We saw it.
I saw naughty children throwing marbles.
But did you though?
Real or not, it'll definitely scare you. Number 4. The Stone Tape. As previously alluded to,
even the stone's got it. It's just very old. 1880? That was when they panelled it in, but those walls are a lot older than the rest of the house. They've just been built onto.
The BBC has a long tradition of airing ghost stories at Christmas time. We have Charles Dickens to thank for that. The Stone Tape was one such Christmas tale. It followed a group of paranormal scientists trying to get to the bottom of whether a spooky Victorian manor was haunted. Suffice it to say, the manor is haunted because its stone bricks have been recording the many traumas and tragedies that have occurred within over the years.
There are words. There might be words. See, pray.
So, that's so there.
Pray. Prayer.
It's in the computer!
The stone tape was also written by Nigel Kneale, the same man who made Quatermass, so you know it has some real horror pedigree behind it. Number 3. Whistle and I'll Come to You. This famously frightening M.R. James short story has been adapted by the BBC twice. Once as an episode of Omnibus in the 1960s, and again as a standalone drama in 2010. Like all great ghost stories, it's got a simple premise. A Cambridge professor on holiday to the coast finds a mysterious ancient whistle in a graveyard.
Find those keepers?
Though it has an ominous message on the side, Professor Parkin blows it anyway and summons a spectre to terrorise him at night. The original story is terrifying, and so are all the adaptations, and you'll spend many sleepless nights wondering if you are truly alone in your bedroom. Number 2. Threads. At the time, Threads was so harrowing that long explainers about the effects and risks of nuclear war aired both before and after it. It infamously depicts the effects of a nuclear bomb being dropped on Sheffield, coming right at the heart of the late Cold War in the 1980s. In real life, international relations were deteriorating again, and there was a period of rearming, putting nuclear war on everybody's minds. Threads pulled no punches, and was even more distressing than its 1960s predecessor, The War Game, which itself was deemed so upsetting it wasn't televised as intended until 1985. It was graphic and merciless, upsetting an entire generation of viewers. Number 1. Ghostwatch.
The programme you're about to watch is a unique live investigation of the supernatural. It contains material which some viewers may find to be disturbing.
Unlike most Haunted, Ghostwatch was upfront about its own artifice from the very beginning, giving viewers a helpful disclaimer that nothing they were watching was real. Unfortunately, no small number of people tuned in halfway through and didn't catch that, meaning they were under the impression that the flashy special effects and possessed actors they were watching were entirely real.
Mom! Mom! Oh, Mom, it's back! It's back! Mom! 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 Help me! Help me! Don't touch me!
Hosted by credible TV stars Michael Parkinson, Sarah Green, and Mike Smith, Ghostwatch had a legitimacy that fooled the nation, leading to as many as 1 million panicked phone calls to the BBC.
Just in the last few minutes, a young lady very distressed in response to something that we showed earlier on, and she's hung up before we had a chance to talk to her. So
it was so distressing that despite being totally fictional, it's never been rebroadcast on British television. Did any of these shows deliver the frights you wanted? Or did their moments shock you out of the blue? Sound off in the comments.